Wonder Woman, L-Jay Maasai.
Still alive.
My lady, Eva, my lady, nano, my lady. Olo shende jole sere, ole sere, olo shende jole sere, ole sere, ole sere, ole sere, ole sere, ma sugar siadi, ole sere, ma sugar siadi. Like my baukanipa, ay 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 ay, topotishe nuru na giza, ay 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 ay, nisi danganywe, lagaiwe, nisi danganywe. Fanya neja, denda neja, nena neja, fanya neja, denda neja. My lady, Eva, my lady, nano, my lady. Olo shende jole sere, ole sere, olo shende jole sere, ole sere, ole sere, ole sere, ole sere, ma sugar siadi, ole sere, ma sugar siadi. Ole sere ma sugar siadi, my lady. Ole sere ma sugar siadi, my lady, my lady, my lady, my lady, my lady. Olo shende jole sere, ole sere, olo shende jole sere, ole sere, ole sere, ole sere, ole sere ma sugar siadi, ole sere, ma sugar siadi. Olo shende jole sere, ole sere, olo shende jole sere, ole sere, ole sere, ole sere, ole sere ma sugar siadi, ole sere, ma sugar siadi.
Very good morning and welcome to the program. The only way to start your day, good morning, Kenya. My name is Samuel Njoroge. That right there is L-Jay Maasai performing one of his songs. And the man behind all you've seen and much more that we'll be seeing in the course of this show is with us in studio. I'm talking about James Lekishon Lekamwaro, popularly known as L-Jay Maasai. Welcome to the program. How are you?
You're Lekishon, kama Maasai kabisa.
Dreams.
Not many people are able to pronounce it.
Lekishon.
Yes.
I've always, okay. Yeah, that's a topic for another day. But welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Again, it's a pleasure to host you, finally.
Thank you.
I'm going to producer Sana.
Hey,
L-Jay, and finally you're here. So maybe before we even get to what you've been doing musically, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, L-Jay is a gospel musician. I call myself a minister of the word of God through music. Yeah, simple as that.
Right.
Yeah.
Born, brought up, lived, Maasai land, kabisa?
I was born in Pumwani Hospital, Nairobi. But I grew up in Narok. I was in a school, nilisomea primary shule inaitwa Moi Primary School. And then because of hurdles of life, we had to move with my mom. We moved from Narok, we lived in Malindi, we lived in Mombasa, we lived in Nairobi, back to Narok again, like imekuwa tu all round. But finally I finished my education in Nairobi.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why music for you?
Why music? I think I discovered that music was my passion like during high school, because I found myself involving myself in everything that involved music, like kama ni drama, kama ni like every India gig or India or end-term event that was happening in school, I was always the person who was performing, the person who would lead the national anthem, the person who would do all these things. Yeah.
And L-Jay, your jina ilitoka wapi?
L-Jay is just an initial from my name, like Sean James. Yeah.
Then you added
And then
Maasai.
Maasai was a name that stuck to me from primary actually. Everyone referred to me in every school I went to, but I've been to like 12 different schools. And yeah.
Why? Okay. Why?
Because ni hustle ya maisha.
Hustle
you know,
maisha.
I'm raised by a single mother.
Okay.
A single mother, so it took quite a lot from her to be able to educate me.
Right.
Yeah.
So no suspension.
She had to move from not suspension. Not suspension. I mean a good boy. Like a good boy.
So you were saying something about Maasai and the fact
yeah,
that,
and every school I went to, everyone referred to me. No one called me James or like Sean or whatever. They kept calling me Maasai or Ndawo. So that's where the Maasai name came from. So I just stuck with it after school.
Back to 2013, your humble beginnings, and you released that song.
Yeah.
Of all the songs that you've done, one of my personal favorites, Maasai for Christ. Let's talk about the experience behind you releasing that song.
Well, it was really hard for me because I was doing secular music before that actually. Throughout high school, I was recording love songs and, you know, just worldly songs. And I got saved like 2011, 12, about there. And I had to start writing gospel music from then. And it was just a very totally different experience. And then I was a rapper at that time. So it wasn't an easy thing. And then, you know, raising funds for recording the audio and shooting the video was quite a hassle. It took me almost 6 months to raise funds just for that one project. And, you know, I was just feeling the urge and the pressure from, I think it was God just telling me, this is what you need to do. You need to do it. So I didn't stop. I didn't give up, despite all the issues. And finally, I was able to shoot the video. I was introduced to a director, Ken Heyman, by a friend. And then he did the video for me, and that was it.
Right. There's something about the missions appointed and anointed by God.
Yes.
I keep it wapi, but keep going.
Kabisa.
And at times you wonder where, keep going, to what purpose.
Yeah.
So finally you were able to record, do a video for it. Then sitting back, looking at the work you've done, what was going through your mind?
I think I remember the first time someone called me and the song was on TV. I was in disbelief. I became weak. Like for real. You know, I was doing the video and releasing the song, of course, but I didn't expect it to go on TV that fast, especially big television stations. And, you know, at the end of the day, I remember I think I almost broke down. Like for real, I was like, wow. You know, I'd been through so much. And I just told God, as in, if this is your purpose for me, then let your will be done. So be it.
So be it. And the reception for that song, what did that do to you? Did it inspire you? Did it?
It made me want to run back to studio like ASAP, you know. And I did not take a break. I went back to studio. I recorded, and that's when I got the idea for the Laleyo, the song I did with Shira GP. And I remember when I was doing this song and we were talking with friends and that producer of mine, Ken Heyman, and I was like, I have this idea, but I don't think it's gonna work alone.
Okay.
I want to look for someone who does something totally different from me, because I discovered, that's when I discovered, Maasai for Christ is when I discovered how I need to package myself with the culture thing and the style of music I want to do. And I was telling Ken Heyman, I want to do something very different. And he asked me, so what do you want to do? So I gave him the idea of the song, and he's like, who do you want to do it with? And we wrote a list of like 12 artists in the industry at that time, and we called each one of them. All of them turned me down. All of them turned me down. And you see, I was sending them Maasai for Christ as a sample to listen to. As in, skiza your song, hiyo ndio song yangu, niko na hii idea nataka tufanya. So some of them were like, hey, this is not my style. Another one was like, I'm doing my projects in university, so I'm quite busy. Mwingine anasema anafanya album yake. You know, there was just all manner of excuses. And finally, we called Shiro GP. Shiro GP was also a bit hesitant, but she gave it a shot. She said, so when can I come to studio and listen to this thing? And I told her anytime, actually, because, you know, me, your time minimum, and your star. So me, anytime, neza kuja talking na I'll run, you know. So we organized a session, and she came through. She was actually, I remember she was shooting her Nyongo Wangai album at that time. And she was very busy, but she came into studio to listen to the sample. And, you know, she came into studio, within 15 minutes, she had recorded her chorus and verse and left.
Oh.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
And she was doing this other project.
And she was doing, yeah, that's why she did it so fast. like alikama fanya Kenya nafanya aende. And akashoot video zake, fanya vitu zake.
Let's talk about rejection. Because, as you said, people give excuses. But on the flip side, someone may argue no one is ever that busy. It just depends on where you lie in their list of priorities.
Exactly.
How did you digest that when you call some 11 people turning you down? How did you process that, L-Jay?
For me, it was difficult. Like, I was like, what? I was like, is Maasai for Christ really that bad? Like, no one wants to associate with it. But then I had a lot of things going on in my head, like maybe I'm not big enough yet. Maybe these guys are too big for me, you know. But then something on the other side of me kept telling me, like, don't give up. Like, this is just part of the process, you know. Because as a Christian, I know one thing is like, nothing good comes easy, you know. Like, God puts people through a process of hardship. We call it tests, you know. And there is no glory without that test, understand? So that motivated me, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep pursuing. Yeah,
keep doing it, keep pursuing, and finally you released.
And actually, for the idea that, as in, I believe every idea that I get is something God has given me. So I had the idea of singing with someone. So I knew there was the right person for that, and it was not just an imagination.
Okay.
You know, so I knew God will just bring the right person.
Bringing the right person, but then the right channels work, you know, as far as doing good music is concerned.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to go the direction of TNC, the label company that you have?
Actually, TNC is very new. It was first a dream, like it was just a thing I had in mind, you know, and I kept throwing it into my music, you know, to try and build it slowly. But officially, like, it's like 7 months old. It's a full house record label and management company. And the reason for that is I needed freedom to do my music. I want to be able to do my music anytime. Like, if I want to wake up at 2 a.m. and get into studio and start recording, I don't have to call someone and book for a session. And that's why I started TNC. And I just felt like it's going to be a body that will help me take my music even further. And I have a family, like TNC family, people who support me, which includes some of my fans, most of my biggest fans, who we have called to come and work with us, you know, because they understand what I do. They've been my fans since Maasai for Christ. So we work with them as well. And then, of course, the management team. And I believe it's going to be big.
Well, first of all, TNC is an acronym for, the full name is something Dawo Classics.
Team Dawo Classics.
Team?
Yes.
Dawo Classics.
Yeah.
7 months into the industry, what's your focus for growth as far as this label company? What do you want to exactly achieve with it beyond the brand of L-Jay Maasai?
I think I want to make it one of the biggest record labels and management companies in Africa. And I want it to be a full house record label. You know, like, kuna labels Kenya, kuna labels in East Africa. But I don't think people really understand what a label is. You know, like, if you're signed in a label in the US, you know, first thing, you have a house, you have a car, you know, and it's in your name, it's yours. And those are the things I want to bring now to our industry. So it will be growth for the industry as well. See, to kusainiwa for recording and videos. Right. You understand?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I know there are things you cannot say on air.
Yeah.
Because as a businessman, I wouldn't push you that direction. To open up your safe, your envelope, and your secrets. your business niche out there. But again, when you compare TNC with what exists in the market, what is unique about it? What is the S of TNC?
I think it's not just a record label. It is a talent house as well. Like, for example, the first artist that we've signed, we're not looking to just work with artists and make money. We want to concentrate on an artist and actually build the brand, like full-time concentration on them, you understand? So TNC as a management, if it's one artist project, like everyone's attention is on that person until we achieve the goal and what we want to do with them. And
of course, one of the artists that are working with TNC and they've done a song recently is with us in studio, and we'll be talking to him in just a short while. But not before you get to tell us about, you've won awards.
Yes.
Male Artist of the Year, New Artist of the Year, na zingine nyingi. What is the value of an award to an artist?
I think an award is just basically a pat on the back. It's a pat on the back for me. It's you being told, like, good job, keep going. That's what I took it as from the first awards, you know, even before the Groove Awards. And it's also like a platform where, like, you get to build yourself and become bigger. Because, you know, like, when you win an award and everyone knows you've won an award, like, what I say, so people are recognizing what they're doing, and it's people appreciating and recognizing exactly what you're doing, which is very important for an artist.
That's true.
Very important.
Very, very important. I'm a fan.
But again,
yes,
having not won an award doesn't mean people are not appreciating you. You understand? Yeah. Because there are artists out there I know who are doing very well and they're very big, but they've never won any awards or been involved in any awards.
It's working for a cause, and not for an applause.
Exactly.
I mean, if the applause happens, cool. But if the cause is achieved and if it's achieved, then it's a greater purpose than the applause. You know what, guys? Let's get to appreciate where this person came from. Maasai for Christ. Yani tu to one your song, like
you just had to do this.
I just had to do this, and I had to go there.
Okay.
Let's get to listening to Maasai for Christ, and then we'll be back with more from L-Jay Maasai and what he's doing currently in the music industry.
What? Maasai for Christ, mama, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ. Mama, Maasai for Christ. Maasai for Christ, mama, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, mama, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, mama, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, mama, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, mama, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, mama, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ. Nani alisema tusirukie JC? Nani alisema Wamasai ni wazii? Jua si lazima we uwe mnabii. Vita juu ya chuki yaleta uadui. Iwe ni ubaguzi au iwe ni ukabila. Banjuka na ingoma iwe we ne mogaka. Twende isikuti na hao kwa wahala. Wajaka wa Cambodia we twenka mlami. Mogiri kwa wasapere na pia mafaite. Waria walalo na ruka kinda wo. Wakanda wa UG, wabongo wa TZ. Rukeni tugurume si sote kimasai. Maasai for Christ, mama, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, mama, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, mama, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, mama, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, mama, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, mama, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ. Leta ukabila tukukanyage, leta uadui tukupargage. Mimi kama kawa naleta bari njema. Aliye juu ndiye alisema. Waishi kwa manyata keja ya gorofa. Ishi kipekee tifunze tabia bora. Engaya mayanagi watu maile bunye. Leo show lang usito kanibeba. Mimi chini navalia yonginyera. Nachunga ngombe zangu shuka ni lazima. Jora mshipini ngere na mkononi. Rungu juu ya hewa na msifu Yesu wangu. Christ, Mama Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, Mama Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, Mama Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, Mama Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ. Mwishowe sina budi bali kumsifu, upendo usipopenda bado yeye ndiye Mungu, tamsifu Kimasai na pia lugha zote. Sione Masai eti ukamdharau, sione ye mjinga, kumbuka tuliumbwa sisi sote tuwe same. Sahau ukabila pepe na tulichechemu. Maasai for Christ, Mama Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, Mama Maasai for Christ, Maasai for Christ, Mama Maasai for Christ.
That's exactly what scripture says in the book of Job, never to despise your days of humble beginnings. And only L-Jay Maasai before everything happened, before the blessings came in, before the voice broke, and like that's the man, you know, and congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats, only
Thank you. It's God, man.
That is God, and that's you right there. Even before hair and everything else.
I'm not sure it was me.
But anytime you listen to this song, you come across it anywhere. How does that make you feel when you compare then and now?
I think the part that impacts me most is when I'm performing. I usually don't perform this. Like most people who've seen my concerts or performances, I don't do Maasai for Christ. And there's some concerts or shows I go to and people will be like, I'm done with all the songs I'm doing. Like I've done all my 9 songs.
Yes.
And someone will be in the crowd will scream, Maasai for Christ, you know? And I'm like, really? I don't think my DJ even has that song in his set, you know? And I'm like, it impacted someone. Someone actually likes the song, you know. So it's a very big, like, I don't know what to call it, but nikitupoa.
Okay. Let's go back to James a bit. Tuachana L-Jay kidogo. Let's go back to James. What does James do when he's not in studio? When he's not busy with L-Jay, what does James do?
When I'm not in studio or performing, I think I'm usually either traveling or just bumming in the house. You know, I like to travel. That's one of my favorite things. Like when I don't have anything to do, I have to gari mafuta naenda tu mahali, you know. And another thing I do a lot is I do missions. I do missions, and you know, I visit children's homes. You know, I visit less fortunate people and try and encourage people about life and stuff. So I think that's the basic me.
Would you describe yourself as an introvert or an extrovert?
Extrovert.
Extrovert?
Yes.
Anytime?
Any day.
What are your favorite hangout places?
Hangout places? I don't think I have a favorite.
Where do you frequent most?
Where do I frequent? I don't know. Honestly, as it went anywhere. Random. Hakuna sisema ati because ati sina form hapa ndio mimi hang out.
Okay. And what's your favorite? If a fan was to treat you, wakwambia leo nataka kukutreat. What should they consider?
Nyama.
Taking L-Jay out.
Nyama kitu ya kwanza.
Nyama. Beef.
Yes. Nyama first thing.
Okay. What else?
I eat a lot, so.
He said it, not me.
Don't judge.
No, we're not judging.
Don't judge. Nakulanga sana. And I like private places. Yeah. Napenda place imejificha.
Okay.
So those two things. Food, place private.
Okay. Actually ni tatu. Food, lots of food.
Yeah.
Na places imejificha. Growth in terms of the gospel industry. Ile place tumefika 2017. What's your take on it?
I think the gospel industry has grown, like it's huge. I think up to date, Kenya is the only country where gospel industry is bigger than secular. And I think we have more gospel shows on TVs than secular. And so when I was starting, 2013, it wasn't like that. So every year we're seeing expansion, we're seeing growth, we're seeing new shows, we're seeing new artists, we're seeing different things, new awards coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been growth, growth, growth.
You working with Rose Mhando. First of all, how did that happen? And I'm asking that question in a good way. How did that happen? Like, you know, even when you said that you've done that project with her, people thought, okay,
yeah,
this is a prank.
True.
True or false?
Even when I posted the poster, the comments that were there, and I wongo. Tutaamini tukiona.
So let's talk about the experience and how exactly you were able to do this with her.
So I met Rose in a show in Namanga, border of Kenya and Tanzania, and I was performing. I think I had 3, 4 songs at that time, and I performed, and of course I was one of the first artists performing at that time. And after I came off stage, went backstage, and you know, she told me she likes what I'm doing. She likes my style of music, and she likes the fact that I'm incorporating culture in my songs, you know. And she also told me she likes my stage performance is really energetic, you know. She started asking me questions like, how old are you? Like, you perform really well. How often do you practice? You know, such things. Then a conversation just clicked backstage. Yeah. And then she told me she's going to invite me to Tanzania for a concert, which was to happen in Dodoma, which I didn't go to. I was not able to go to. So later on, I went to Dar es Salaam, and then we met there and we recorded the audio. The conversation about the working together was also backstage after the concert. You know, like, tunaweza fanya kazi, nini. And we recorded the song in Tanzania, in one of her studios. And then it was mixed and mastered by Team Still Alive in Kenya. Yeah, and she flew in to come and do the video like a month later. Yeah, and the experience, I must say, was really, you know, Rose is a big musician, like she's huge. And at the time I was working with her, I was like this and she's like, you know. So it was really humbling, first of all, for her to recognize what I'm doing and appreciate it. And to even call herself my fan, you know. I know she had not heard of my music at that time, except for that one time on stage. Yeah. So I must say it was really humbling, and it gave me like, it gave me that push, like, you know, if someone this big is recognizing what you're doing, then can you imagine what you're going to be able to do in the future?
That's true. And her energy levels, whoa.
Yeah. They're not only on stage, but they're even
in person.
In the booth. You know, when you're recording in the booth, you have to avoid movement because the mics are sensitive. They pick up everything in that room. She is energetic even in the booth. Wow. And another thing about Rose, she did not write her verse. Like, it came off freestyle from her head. She just, she listened to my verse, listened to the chorus, then she asked me to teach her how to pronounce Garana no Lomayana, and then she just walked into the booth. One take.
And that's it.
She was done, and she told me, you know, I have to go to check my daughter, see my daughter has done what, you know, and she left. Yeah.
Working with Shiro, working with Rose, what value has that added to L-Jay Maasai?
I think it's made me grow as an artist as well, you know, in terms of writing and in terms of packaging my music. It's made me look at it differently, you know, because these guys are what we would call, in Kenya they'd call them River Road artists, you know, and they call us uptown artists. And it's just a different experience on how these guys do their things and how we do our things. And it's made me be able, like, to balance both sides, you understand? There are those crowds and those people who do not have time for TV, you know. They don't have YouTube. They don't have social media. So how is your music going to get to them? You see? Like, I know for a fact, those guys don't package their music for television, you know. And it's just made me grow in different ways, and it's made me wiser, and it's made me look at the industry in a different way.
What of the various producers that you've worked with?
Audio, currently I'm working with Jegede and Pato. Pato is the main producer at TNC. TNC, yeah. Jegede is also a producer at Pacho. I've worked with Team Still Alive. I've worked with Teddy B. I've worked with, who else? I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
oh, Yo Alex. I've worked with Yo Alex as
Yo
well.
Alex, yeah.
Yeah.
And out of all this, I won't ask who stood out for you, but I'll just ask you the lessons and the value add to your music and your brand.
I think every producer is different, and that's what artists need to understand. Like when you have an idea of a song, like for me, Pato might be the main producer at the label, but if I have an idea of a song and I feel like Jagade can do it better or Teddy B, I'll not hesitate to look for Teddy B, because you just need to understand what each producer does and how they do it. We're all different, you understand? So it's just, I think it's just, you just need to understand what you need and who can give it to you or deliver it.
What's your highest and your lowest moment in your career this far?
Highest? I think highest has been the recognition in awards in Kenya and outside Kenya, like nominations in London and USA. The Groove Awards, of course, Male Artist of the Year 2016. I think those are my highest parts of my career, I guess. Yeah. My lowest, I think, was when I traveled to Dar es Salaam when I was doing that project. And I happened to stay longer than I was expecting to. And I remember I had to sleep in the studio for 2 weeks, you know. And it was really hard on me because I was not used to that kind of environment. You know, everyone there is new. And I remember at some point I was like, really, you know, can I just go back home? Yeah. Yeah.
The hustle is real.
Yeah.
2 weeks, 14 days.
In studio, on the carpet.
14 days. You hacked it. That's why you're here, right?
Thank God.
That's why you're here. Let's get to bring in Cooper, who has done a collabo, or who has featured L-Jay in his song, Bado Bado. He'll be coming in a bit, but not before we get to listen into this new song released 4 months ago.
Yeah.
It's a project that is literally 4 months old. So let's get to listen into Bado Bado. And then when we return, we'll be having a conversation with the artist himself and L-Jay and much, much more.
L-Jay Maasai, na na na, pupa panditing, oleguso, yelele mama, it's MC Jake. Ebaborini penda bila do, sakayo. Ebaborini penda bila fea, sakayo. Ulini penda bila mapesa, want me tell that hey. Kweli ulini penda bila pesa, mbele nikasonga na neema, Wakenya na majua kanipenda. Bila pesa, mbele nikasonga na neema, Wakenya na majua kanipenda. A song me a make for Messiah. From 254 across the nations. Kutoka downtown hadi uptown. Father many make classic, nasi magic. Nikiruka tu kama ndao baraka kibao mi anyunyuziwa. ondoka